8 o'clock Sunday evening. That means it's time for Empower Hour with me, Carla Andrews, here every week. And this week, as always, we will cover our normal themes as we go through the hour. So we'll start off with our moan and move ons. We will then move into our wellness wins, and at the end of the hour, we choose from our selection of anxiety cards, stress release cards, affirmations, and empowering questions. So good evening. As you join us, please do put a hello into the comments, and that way I can see who is with me. So I've got the lovely Lauren already. How are you, Lauren? Jennifer, thank you for joining us. And I've got rainbows as well. Very nice. Evening, Tasha, great to see you. Yeah, please do put a hello. It's lovely that you do join us. And tonight's theme, we're going to be talking about time. Time. So, we'll hang around just for a couple of minutes, just let everyone come in and say hello, and then we can see who's with us. If it is your first time here and you're a bit nervous, then please, we don't bite, it's okay. We are here every week at 8 o'clock, and we are a lovely group of people that get together and just share how things are going. The lovely Jo Loyne has joined us as well. So it's great to see you all. I hope you've had a lovely weekend. I have. Just been relaxing and watching the rain. Water my garden, very important this time of year. So a little bit of housework, nothing exciting. That's the bonus when you have children that move out, is there's less housework. Amongst many other things, trust me, there's lots of bonuses to teenagers, or they're older than teenagers now, but to children moving out. So, okay, let's start the hour with our popular moan and move on. So moan and move on, I invite you all to just chuck one thing, two things, up to you, however many, into the beginning pot of our hour, which we call our fuck it bucket. So it might be something that you know you can't change, but it irritated you in that moment, and we're going to share some love. Knife crime getting worse, from Jennifer. Yes, unfortunately, knife crime has always been a problem, but when it starts happening on your doorstep and you're more aware of it, and more youngsters using the knives, or carrying them and using them, it's quite worrying that our culture is stepping into those domains. And it's like, how do you stop it? Like, you can do educational programs, that's great, and we can say, oh, it's dangerous to carry a knife, because if you're going to carry it, then that's asking for trouble, because it might not be you that uses it, but if you've got it on you, someone else finds it, or you get yourself into a situation, because a lot of young people, they do worry about their safety, so they say, oh, well, I'll carry a knife, because then if anyone jumps me, or if anyone does anything, but ultimately there are people that don't think that way and would easily grab it off of you and use it against you anyway. So unfortunately, I think with the education side of it, we do have to build children up, that they stay children for longer. There's so many kids out there that certainly get groomed, that they do get groomed for this kind of behaviour, and especially where we live in Essex, because it's the county lines for the drug gangs, so it's quite alarming. And when you hear children, and I say children, like babies, asking them why that they carry knives, and I've talked to kids that are as young as sort of 8, 9 that were carrying knives, and some of them say, oh, it's because of fear. Some of them say, well, because they were giving it because they were to protect themselves. So it's really worrying. And as a parent, you just want to do the absolute best. And no matter how well you educate children, if the complete environment around them isn't secure for them, then they make the wrong decisions. And unfortunately, with knives, it only takes once for it to be a wrong decision. So I personally think we should have more police on the streets. I think we should personally move towards celebrating our police rather than fearing them. I'd like to see police officers having the free time to engage with kids on the streets and get to know them, and then and also that we start engaging kids that are neglected. I think we live in a society where a certain amount of neglect is allowed, and I think that that's wrong. I've been on the other end of trying to get social services involved in children that are neglected, and things aren't moved fast enough. So I think there's a whole systemic approach to trying to get our knife crime back down. I think even the way some of our estates are designed to be rabbit warrens is a joke. Lighting, and there's 100 things that you could do to reduce knife crime. I've seen some people deliver knife crime programs, and to me it's delivered in the wrong way as well. We shouldn't just be scaremongering children, because they are children. That's, I think, what we're forgetting, is that these, even a 12-year-old, 15-year-old, they are children, and we're putting the world on their shoulders. And you can scare tactic as much as you want, but unless we look at the psychology behind why they are using or carrying these weapons, and what's going on, then we're not going to change it. So yeah, I'm quite passionate, as with a lot of things in psychology, that we start to make changes. And I think some children are written off too early. And again, I'm going to use the word children. Even 15, 16-year-olds get written off. Do you know what I mean? Whatever happened to letting these kids be kids? A lot of the kids that I've worked with that have been in trouble with the police over the years have come from very, very dysfunctional families. Don't get me wrong, as I said, some of them have come from fabulous families as well. So it's not always the family's fault, but I just think we could do better in society, personally. But let's hope that there are people with ears open, and change will happen. I think a good start is more policing, definitely. I think we're putting more and more people in smaller places now, because we're building up our communities, and we're more people living in a square mile than ever before. So we have to have youth clubs. We have to have more police to factor that in. And I was really shocked when I was chatting to a police officer a couple of years ago, that they said in our local area, housing stock had almost tripled over the last 30 years, but policing numbers has stayed the same. Now, let me tell you, the more people you put in one area, the more problems you're going to have. So, yeah. But we can all do our bit. We can all vote. We can all volunteer for youth clubs. We can all smile at a kid rather than write them off. Do you know what I mean? If there's kids next door, just sit on the doorstep every once and now and again and chat to them. I do in my street. The kids in my street were bored a couple of weeks ago, and I got chatting to them about reading, and they said, "Oh, but the libraries are closed." So I come indoors, I went through my bookshelves, and I was like, "Here you go." I had all the Enid Blyton lot. I had loads of Jack something. No, Terry Pratchett. I had loads of books, and I was like, "I tell you what, this is on a loan scheme. read them and tell me what you thought of them, and come and give them back. Admit they haven't given them back yet, but hey, am I worried? Do you know what I mean? It's about having that connection with kids. I get out of my car and I get, "Hi Carla, how are you? You've got blue hair today," and I'm like, "Yep." Let's just engage with our kids more. Anyway, sorry, that's me on a rant. Lisa says, "Hi, I'm here and not here." That's fine, Lisa. If you're listening in the background while you get on with stuff, that's great. Tasha agrees with this. Awesome, Tasha. Um, the lovely Lauren has got a moment to move on. Being an adult and having to decide what to cook every night. Oh, I completely get that, Lauren Dads. Absolutely. Adulting is bloody hard. I've just started to chase up my supermarkets though. So like this week I did an order from Iceland. And you know what? I got a duck and wraps and the hoisin sauce and all of that, and I had that for lunch today. Now that made a change for me. All comes in one box, apart from the cucumber and spring onion. But yeah, it's just okay. How do we vary our menus? And I'm not a lover for slaving away for one. Like I don't know if anyone else has that problem. Um, since my boys moved out, that's definitely a shift in my head that I've had to deal with. So I bought myself a Food Ninja. We had one at work, and it is basically a pot that's, I don't know, sits sits so high on my worktop. It's bigger than a slow cooker. But it's an oven, it's a pressure cooker, it's a like air fryer, it's a slow cooker, it's about 6 things all in one, and it heats up instantly. So yeah, I cooked my dinner in about 15 minutes, and it made a change from anything else that I've been eating. But hey ho, restaurants open up where we can go in and sit in from not next week, week after. So I'm looking forward to that. Hi Claire. Claire's with us. How am I? I'm really well, thank you. I spend my weekends absolutely just lapping up lots of relaxation. So in the week I can get quite stressed. So I make sure I manage that by just chilling out and not doing a lot at weekends. But I'm very lucky. I've got my life to a level now where my housework gets done just by a little bit of pottering around. My gardening gets done just by sort of 10 minutes here and there across the week. So hey, it's when children grow up and move out. Can I just say, a lot of you have got that to look forward to. And the lovely Jerry is with us tonight. So you guys will know that sometimes I highlight stuff from our shop, from the Happy Hub shop, that supports mental health. And Jerry is our shop manager, and I always give him a mention when I do a call out, because otherwise on Monday morning's meeting he'll say, "Why didn't you take the opportunity to promote that?" Because he kicks my butt. And that's how we work at Motivated Minds. We all work jointly together, and we're all, everyone in. Everyone's in. We all take responsibility, and we have a fantastic working team, where we pull all of our knowledge rather than have like a hierarchy of knowledge. So it's lovely to see Jerry here with us tonight. He did say a couple of weeks ago, we was having a guess of what he was watching, because he always watched it on catch up. So but it's nice to see that he's here tonight with us live. Karen, hello, how are you? May I remind you all that the shop is open now, and our sessions are resuming. Back with Iris is back with us tomorrow. So Minecraft, our arts and crafts session, will be back on. Maybe not this Tuesday, but certainly the Tuesday after. We'll let Iris prep her stuff again and get it all ready. We've got our Cup of Kindness, we've got our Walk for Wellbeings, we've got our men's programs. So yeah, we've got lots and lots of stuff going on in the shop. I think there's more or less something every day. Lauren says, Cooking for one is tedious. That's why I had Domino's last night. Good choice. Absolutely. Lisa says, due to having carers, I have to live on ready meals. No good for weight gain. Oh, Lisa, that's a shame. Um, wouldn't you say, because you've got carers, but maybe think about buying a Ninja, because they can knock anything up really quickly with a Ninja. It's like an instant oven, but instead of like a lot of the stuff takes like half the time that an ordinary oven would take. So I can cook most meals in like 10 to 15 minutes. So maybe explore that. Jerry's laughing at me. So, Jerry, do you have a moan and move on? Hello, Carla does really well on here. I try my best. I try my best. This isn't something that comes natural to me, because sometimes I feel that I'm just talking, and yeah, it is hard. But the lovely Catherine has got a moan and move on. Kids who always drag on bedtime, especially on Sunday nights. Go to bed, it's Carla. Okay, so this is where I have to step in. All children that are meant to be going to bed, please go to bed, and maybe we'll do a junior motivators empower hour if you're well behaved. Okay, maybe I'll have one at a better time for you, and we have a junior one. Okay, so you don't have to wait just for the school holidays. Get to bed now. Lisa says, cup of kindness, is this a coffee morning type thing? They will only use the microwave, don't even go there. Well, Lisa, if you ever want a hand for me to chase that up for you, I'm more than willing to do so. Cup of kindness is it's an afternoon based thing. It's on at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and basically our lovely Jo takes you through emotional regulation. Now you wouldn't know that's the technical words behind the scenes, but what that is that you sit around with some absolutely other fabulous people, and you get a blob tree, and there are different blobs all up this tree, and sometimes you're the person swinging, sometimes you're the person that's falling, sometimes you're the person that's standing at the top of the tree like a winner, and you just have to identify how you're feeling at that moment. And then we have a wheel, an emotions wheel, which I personally love because it's helped me find my vocabulary for how I feel. Because sometimes I get choked up and I don't realise that, like when I'm angry, for example, I just know that I'm angry. I don't look at the fact that actually I'm really that I feel disrespected, or that I feel let down, and it just helps me clarify why I'm angry, because then I can find the words that fit to that emotion, and then that helps me manage it. And then we look at different techniques for changing that mood. So and at the end of the session, once you've tried a few of those techniques and you've got all of that off your chest, we then look at how you're feeling again. And for a lot of people, they will actually go, bloody hell, like, I feel better. How is that possible? I come in here and my head was wanting to explode. I've offloaded in this safe environment, and now I feel lighter. I feel da-da-da. So it's a great way to explore your emotions and learn to manage them in a very, very gentle, non sort of threatening situation. So if you ever want to come along, and even if you just want to sit in the background, that's absolutely fine. Just come in and speak to a member of our team. Jerry says, I have not had a moan and move on since the beginning of December. I think that was because of a TV show clash. But if you've, or it might be since you've started work with us, Jerry, because that was about then. Who knows? But it's great that you haven't had a moan and move on. Lisa says, thank you. I will try and give it a go. When did you say it is? Sorry, I've been lurking again. No, that's fine. Don't apologise, Lisa, ever. It's Wednesdays at 1 o'clock at the Happy Hub with the lovely Jo Line. Okay, great session. There's a few people that are on here now that attend regularly. So, yeah, you'll get to put some names to the faces. Right. I should breathe actually when I speak. It might help. So, okay, move on. Have I got any? Teenagers moved out. That's still a win. Work's going well. Still a win. Life is going well. Still a win. Has anyone got my nerves this week? Has any situations got my nerves this week? Time. Because I'm going to say that because it's going to lead us into our theme of the week. So yeah, time. And just before I crack on with that, I've got a few more messages to read. So Lauren says, cup of kindness is great. I was indecisive as to whether to go this week, but I did in the end because it always makes me feel better. There you go. And is this the Happy Hub in Eastgate Shopping Centre? It is, absolutely. We are open to everyone. It is not just for people with mental ill health. That's just where our money goes. That's where we just invest our money. As a non-profit organisation, everything that we make goes into supporting people with struggling with their mental health. So, but the Happy Hub is open to everyone. We've got a shop in there that sells merchandise that supports positive mental health. We have a cafe in there that's open to the public. We're only serving hot drinks at the moment because we just haven't got enough volunteers for the cafe, but we will find volunteers that certainly want to start coming in and making cakes and sandwiches and all sorts. And then what else have we got in there? We've got a sports area that will be opening up 17th of May, so you can come in and play ping pong or pool or whatever. It's just a great community space. And the lovely Jo Line says, come and say hi, I'm not scary. Ask Jill Hood and Lucy Everard. So yeah, Jo really isn't scary, and everyone who goes is really welcoming and friendly. So there you go. We've got some fantastic. In all fairness, I'm a little bit biased because I think that motivated minds and our hashtag team motivated people are just the best in the world. As I said, not biased. But I love them all dearly, and they all bring so much to supporting one another, and I think that's really important. So as a customer, you become sort of part of our hashtag team motivated family, and we have a private Facebook group for everyone that joins us, and then that way support is there 24/7, and we support one another, we lift one another up, we empower one another. So yeah, please do, if you're not on hashtag team motivated, join us. And if you haven't ever popped into the Happy Hub in Basildon, then do so, and tell other people that we're there as well, please. That would be great. So let's put Mona Move Ons to one side and let's do wellness wins. So if you're new to this, our wellness wins are 3 things across the last week where you feel that you've expanded your comfort zone, something that you're really thankful for, or just a moment of wow, okay, this is good, this makes my soul feel cleaner, this has cleansed my soul. Whatever it is, share with us your 3 wellness wins. And whilst you do that, I'm going to go back to our theme of the week, which is time. Now, time. We never have enough of it. It's an interesting one because certainly I think everyone would say at some point in their life that if only they could have an extra hour. And then what would you do with that extra hour if you had an extra hour? Like, what are you saying that you can't do because you haven't got time? Do you know that excuse? I mean, one of mine is I haven't got time to exercise. That is definitely something I say more often than not. And even eating properly sometimes, like not getting breakfast. I'm like, oh, I didn't have time. That's when my head, your head should go, you're telling yourself that lie. You didn't make the time because you chose to, for me, sleep in later because you didn't go to bed till later last night because you were up watching a film. So we do have to look at time and how we spend it. Now, anyone that has joined me week in, week out, you know that certainly I do it New Year's, around New Year's. I split my year up into 4 quarters, and they're sort of 13 weeks apiece. And I try and aim for goals in those 13 weeks because 13 weeks is an achievable goalpost. It's not too far away, and it's not too close. It's a nice, achievable goalpost. And if I wanted to, I could take stepping stones every 4 weeks, so 4, 8, 13. So time management is really important. So not only do I map my year into those 4 quarters and review what I'm doing with my life, how I'm spending my time, I actually break down my week as well into my self-development. So the amount of time I spend reading or studying, or taking notes from books or videos. So I actually spend quite a lot of time doing that if I'm not working. And then I obviously spend a lot of time working. And I then spend a lot of time resting. Resting's definitely in there. Where I always lapse is my physical health. But then I'm making plans with that at the moment, and I've decided to start cycling to work, and I'm just reviewing all the time my self-management. So as I said, that's sort of my time, and then my well-being avenues into that. So I do look at my physical health, my sleeping patterns, my time for my purpose. So if you guys had an extra hour a day, how would you spend it? So if we woke up tomorrow and there's 25 hours in a day, how would you spend it? David, I'd love to come running with you, but I can't even walk at the moment. I'm trying to build my walking up. But when you said earlier about 5k bike ride, I was like, I've just started getting out on my bike again, and I used to cycle everywhere. So park run is coming back soon, yes. So I'm going to be doing that actually. That is factored in for my Saturday mornings. So I am looking forward to picking park run back up because that was monumental in when I got fit a couple of years ago. Because it was a family atmosphere, everyone was really supportive, people didn't mind waiting, like, because I am the slowest. And then week on week as you get better, it's such an amazing feeling. So I'm really looking forward to park run on Saturdays, and I have now got my weekends free because I'm not working. So yeah, park run is definitely on my list, and I will definitely come and visit Billericay Park Run. So let me just scroll back. Claire says, went out this week, has had the vaccine jab, didn't like it, had bad anxiety and panic attacks, kicked in too many people, plus don't like needles. Claire, but you've done it, so that is a massive wellness win. It might have taken every bit of energy out of you, and even when you come home you might have still sunk down and get emotional, but that's to be expected when you have to face your fears, and you really did face those fears. You actually smashed them, Claire. So I hope looking back now you can go, oh, okay, I did that. Yeah, and that's where you should really be patting yourself on the back, is that you did it. Yeah, not the fact that how you felt. Don't replay how you felt doing it. You should really, really just be concentrating on the big pat on the back that you did it, and that's another, what's the word? What's the word? Another, just give yourself a trophy. Right? Put it on the wall. Make yourself a medal. Yeah, you did it. Catherine Keane, and is this the Keane gang? No, this is Catherine Keane's wins. So tennis today in the sun with daughter. Lovely. Where do you play, Catherine? Do you go over to the Memorial Park? What are the courts like where you go? Let us know, because other local people might want to get involved. And sometimes I've noticed that people don't realise some of the fantastic facilities that we've got in our communities, no matter where you are. If someone was watching in, I don't know, Spain right now, I'm sure that, like, we don't sometimes see what's around us, so let us know. Got my bike back from the shop. They fixed it for free. Amazing. Proud of both kids playing football today. Fantastic wellness wins. There's the lovely David saying hello. And Katie says wellness wins. Yep, that's what we call it each week. And Katie says, made it to work on time every day I was in. Katie, that's amazing. Well done. Happy children. That's a big one. And new hours agreed at work to work around childcare. Now that's a massive relief. When you're juggling things like work and childcare, it's really, really hard. And that's where that time management comes in, that if you're constantly late, you're worrying about your job, but then if your childcare isn't sorted, so it's really good that you've recognise that and that you've put things in place to make that time management better. Sometimes I think speaking to bosses can be a bit daunting. A good boss will always be flexible. A bad boss, you can't control. But I've had good bosses that when my children were little, that be like, yeah, that's fine, take that 5-10 minutes, don't rush, I don't want you having an accident because you're rushing to get to work. And then I've had other bosses that are like, well, you're paid for 9 o'clock, I expect you to be here at 9 o'clock. And you're like, yeah, but my kid's going to school at 9 o'clock and there's not a breakfast club. And yeah. So it's good when you can find people that will work with you and support you. And that's really what we should all be doing, living in our communities. Jo says her wellness wins are spent Saturday with 2 fantastic ladies. Fantastic, Jo. Started sorting out plans for the back room. Well done. That's got to be a big weight off your mind when you move into a house, or when you're living in a house and you know it needs renovation and you're living in that sort of temporary zone of like trying to make things work. It's really hard. So starting to get things sorted towards that is excellent. And number 3, you took your boys to the park so they could go on the new BMX tracks. Fantastic. Kids remember things like this, and that's why it's so important that we do try and put all of that in place, because memories are so much more important than presents. And good memories will help their mental health when they're going through their teenage years and through their adult years. It's like, because they'll carry those good memories over to their kids or to their nephews or to their dog, whatever their adulting preferences will be, but they will redo that stuff that you've done with them. So Lauren says wellness wins. Have had quite a few comments this week saying that I'm looking slimmer. Always nice to hear. That is great, Lauren. I'd say you're always looking great. So as long as you're happy, that's fantastic. And then trip to Lakeside yesterday with 2 lovely friends. Brilliant. And then went to Freeport Braintree today for a wander and ended up with a good retail therapy session. Fantastic. Good stuff. And Jennifer says, I'd be on the tablet and doing social media. Oh, well, if you had your extra hour. Ah, what would you be doing on your social media, Jennifer? Is that for work? Is that for fun? What do you use it for? What's your favourite form of social media as well, Jennifer? I don't know about you guys, but I could waste hours if I wanted to watching TikTok. It's so addictive. For anyone that doesn't know, it's like 30-second clips. And people either do like sound bites or music bites, and they do stuff to it. And sometimes it's just voiceovers and it's really funny. Sometimes it's dances. And it's just really great to see so many fantastic personalities in the world. And to me, it's a very positive, a very positive social media form. I haven't seen sort of a negative to it. It's probably out there because, like always in life, there's always people that try to ruin it. But just for a quick look and a giggle, I do like it. Tasha spends a lot of time on TikTok. I would like to know how to make them. Now, we have a fantastic lady within our team, our business lead, Lisa. She does the most brilliant TikToks. I admire her and the content she creates. It's always funny and it just tickles me. So, yeah. I'm tempted to remove TikTok from my son's phone. Is that because because you could spend hours before you realise how much time you've wasted? So yeah, there's definitely a time management thing on that. Yeah, I suppose I feel really privileged that I grew up without a phone, because I do watch some kids now, like even my own teenagers, and they go through fits and starts of having their smartphones and then deciding to put them to one side. But for a lot of young people, they wouldn't know how to cope without a phone. When I was a kid, if I dared said that I was bored, if I said it to a nice person, I was given a deck of cards or a jar of 2p's, because then I would just count them out and I'd make shapes and all sorts. Yeah, but if I'd said it to the wrong person, I would have got clipped round the ear roll. So, Jennifer says fun and Facebook. I agree with you. Share and YouTube all the time. Yeah, see, YouTube I haven't really got into. I use it to learn new stuff, but I haven't got into it for anything else. And we've got a YouTube channel, so search it. And yeah, at the moment there's only Empower Hour content on there. I don't think we've got any subscribers. But yeah, YouTube I'd like to get into, because that's the one that you can make money from. Or even some of them you can make really good money from. Lauren says, yep, I'll ask him to do something and all I ever get is hang on. Lauren, I do think with any children these days, they all do that. They all try that one. Lisa says, I love it too. I did some with my daughter on Friday. Lisa, you're very brave. And Joe, replying to Lauren, says, so glad my boys don't have a clue how to use it. Yeah, so it's interesting, isn't it? value that social media can bring to our lives if we have a healthy relationship with it. I mean, you guys are on social media tonight with me, and I hope that it gives some value to you. But it can also be very addictive, very, very addictive, and and used negatively, obviously, as we know, in this sad, sad world that we live in, where a few people ruin it. Yes. Right. Okay. What are we on? 2040. So it's 8:40 already. Um. Let me just grab a drink. I'm trying to be more hydrated. Ooh. Okay. Let's get the cards out. Now, for those regular with us, you know what the cards are, so you can be telling me what ones you want. For those that are with us for the first time, I will run through just quickly. We have affirmators, love these ones, and we even have love and relationship affirmators. We have stress less and cards against anxiety. And then last but not least, we have empowering questions. So feel free to pick a card and I will read it out for you. My favourites are always the empowering questions. Oh, I have them each week, Catherine. I think I just showed them very quickly. The love and relationship ones. Would you like one, Catherine? Right, okay. I'm going to choose one of the love ones for the Catherine. And then I'll work my way through the list. Compliments. I know how good it feels to get a compliment, so I give that gift to others. I'll find a nice compliment for everyone I interact with today, even if I have to think really hard about it, in which case I can follow up by complimenting myself for solving such a complicated puzzle. Wow, I'm skilled. So, your task tomorrow, Catherine, is to... Oh, will it focused? Will it focus? Give a compliment to someone else. No, it might not focus. So I know how good it feels to get a compliment, so I give that gift to others. I'll find a nice compliment for everyone I interact with tomorrow, even if I have to think really hard about it. So, there you go. That is your love and relationship affirmator. And then we've got Tasha with a stress less. So let's grab a stress less. Okie dokes. So this is for Tasha. Pay attention to your thoughts. Close your eyes. Think of your thoughts as a movie you are watching. The movie is on the big screen. You can see it, but you have no control over it. Just sit there with your popcorn and drink and watch the motion picture for 5 to 10 minutes. Doing this exercise will reduce the negative stress reactions in your body. What I would do is I would personally choose really happy times, really happy memories that you've got, and go back to them and revisit them in every single detail. What was you thinking? Can you remember what you was wearing? Can you remember the smells or the intricacies of the details? Like, I don't know, if spending time with your nan and granddad. I was telling someone the other day that when we went to the beach when I was little, like sort of 4 or 5, I would play on the beach and in the sea, and I had really long hair, so it always gets salt water in it that makes it all knotted, and I remember the hairbrush been sort of got out and me running from it, and me knickers always been hung up in the back of the car, like between the window and the top of the, so they would dry as we're driving along. And I don't know, a t-shirt or something on over me in a car. My nan just always really looking after me, and just take a moment like that to sit through a really happy memory, and that will help you relieve your stress. An affirmator card for the lovely Lauren. So this is from that deck. Engagement. Today or tomorrow, I make the conscious choice to engage with the world around me in an active way. I'll take a new route, talk to strangers, I will smell the flowers, pet the dogs, and maybe walk around barefoot for a while, if I'm not inside a 7 to 11. At the very least, I'll have a day that's slightly more interesting than average, and at the most, I'll have a startling epiphany or make a friend who will change my life forever. No pressure. So Lauren, I know that you go to the park a lot, but like, do you ever like literally shove your nose in the flowers? Are you cheeky? Do you ever pick a lavender bud and just, or lavender leaves or rosemary? I know there's a sensory garden in a park near you, but like, do you walk past it and just, oh, that looks pretty, or do you walk past it and touch it all? Yeah, so maybe think about your senses when you're out. Empowering question from the lovely Lisa. Okay, and one from Jennifer after. I do like these empowering questions. Right, so let's go with Lisa. What is your instinct telling you to do? So what is your gut feeling? There is a gut feeling in your stomach at the moment that you're not sure on, because you're talking yourself out of it, or it can't be achieved, or you're not good enough, or but there's this tumbling feeling that it's there, and it's a little voice, and you keep talking over it with your negative one. So what is your instinct telling you to do? That's a great one. I love that question. And then Jennifer's, yours is there something in my life that makes me forget time while I'm doing it? And then what is it? So is there something that you do that just time disappears? So let me know, guys. And I will tell you just quickly, actually, because we said about exercise, and I tell you week in, week out that that's definitely my downfall in my well-being is my physical health. I bought, you see this ball behind me, right? It's quite a small, it's a fairly small one. So if I sit at my desk, whilst I'm, right, hold on, let me show you. I will show you. So I'm on a standard wheelie chair, right, and then I have this little thing. So when, right, when I'm on meetings, when I'm just not on meetings even, and I'm just sometimes just working, and doing random stuff. Oh, sorry, that's the ball, honestly, against the treadmill. I will just sit on this ball. So what I did last week was, oh, I've got to try and get out now. What I did last week was, in the office, in the Happy Hub, I bought 3, but really big ones. So we can all have them at our desks. But I still end up being slightly too short for meetings. So I'll still sort of be down a little bit, like halfway on the screen. And then what I find I'm doing is this. So in meetings, I sit there online, just bobbing up and down. And you actually get a bit seasick when you're trying to read emails or contracts when you're bobbing up and down. But yeah, it's something new that I'm trying. Always evolving. Catherine, so when you read, time slips away from you. Reading does that to me too. I do like a good old read. It's a great way to look after our well-being. So, you guys have had your cards, and we're coming up to the end of the hour. I've already mentioned what we've got going on across the week ahead. But I will give a big shout out to our sponsored walk that we're going to be doing this year. It's only a 5k, so if anyone's interested in joining that, please, in September, it will be one of our fundraising events that we do. We're only going to be doing the one this year. We usually do 12 a year. So, but because of COVID restrictions, we're just doing the one. But next year we do hope to bring back our Snowdon trip, which we've been doing for the last 5 years. Well, not last year, obviously it got cancelled, but we really want to bring back our fundraising Snowdon climb. So if anyone is interested, we usually book it for about the May and June time. So do give us a little shout if you do fancy getting involved, because we'll start looking at booking that soon. What else? What else are my updates? I think that's it. But Lisa, sorry, not Lisa, because she's not watching, that I know of, my Lisa, that is. But certainly Joe and Jerry, they'll kick my butt if they've got anything that they want me to cover. Definitely my target for the week is to come in on Wednesday. Lisa, that would be amazing. I'm just going to put a reply on your email, Joe, because at the moment we are still taking bookings, just so we have an awareness of numbers because of COVID. But I've just put Joe's email address there. Just drop her a quick line, just put cup of kindness that you'd like to come, and then we know we can welcome you and make you feel comfortable. So yeah, just email the lovely Joe. Joey, how do you think of tonight? What do you think of tonight? Well, we'll see if, I don't know if he's watched for the whole hour. He might have disappeared, gone to make his packed lunch for work tomorrow. We'll soon find out. So, if anyone has got any ideas for our amazing team and the services that we provide, please do give a shout out to us. And likewise, if you're if you're dropping your kids off at school, tell the teachers about us, because we do work in schools, we do work with businesses. So if your employers are looking for workplace wellbeing, we offer excellent packages. And don't forget, we've got our Spark Days coming back up soon, because in June the restrictions disappear that much more, that we can start doing our Saturday spa days. And if you haven't come to one before, please do come to one. You will love it. We usually get there for I think it's about 11 o'clock, and we spend a good sort of 3-4 hours there, and you have my brain to pick for that 3-4 hours. And I take loads of resources. So yeah. There you go. Jerry has answered. I've watched for the full hour, and I think that I think this is good for positive thinking. Jerry, thank you very much. That's very kind of you. So, and Lisa says agreed. Well, thank you for your kindness, guys. And it really wouldn't be so positive without you guys talking to me, because sometimes I have done this in the past and I get uncomfortable when I'm then trying to feel it just I don't know. So it's great that it's an interactive session, and you guys can always ask anything on here anyway and put me on the spot. Because at worst case scenario, if I don't know it, I'll go away and find out for you and come back with that knowledge. So, but it's great to see that everyone's supporting one another and that you're finding your wellness wins. And for any of those that have watched throughout the hour that don't like to participate, but I know you watch because we talk later in the week, that's fine too. So I'm glad that you are watching and that you just sit there and you take it in. That's cool. What's the time? We've got 5 minutes. Is there anything you guys would like to ask, would like to say? Any points that you've got, please do share. And then I'll let you get on with your Sunday night and prep for tomorrow and the week ahead. Prepping is so important for the week ahead. We do it with our housework, don't we? We get all our washing done and, well, I don't do ironing, but some people do their ironing at the weekend. Some people prep their food, which is always a good call. But do we prep ourselves enough? Do we prep ourselves mentally? Do we get the books out that we should read, like one chapter of, or a magazine to one side that you think, yeah, I'm going to read that this week? Do we map in time to be physically active? So, yeah, use that tonight. And on that note, I'm going to love you and leave you all just under the hour. So it's Empower Hour minus 5 minutes tonight. I'm going to let you all crack on. I hope you have a fabulous week. You know where me and my fantastic team are all week long. So please, please do stay in touch with us, whether that's walking in the hub or messaging us. How was your 2 painting pictures? Right, so my pictures, well, I hope it's finally dried. I keep meaning to get it out and give it another coat because every time I had touched it, it wasn't dry. Let me put that on there. Oh, hold on, then you can't see it. Let me get my leg up. Right. Yeah, that's finally dried. So I'm going to get that, another coat on that, and then hung up on my bedroom wall. So yeah, it's my calming artwork. The other one, I don't know where it is. It's around somewhere. So I like doing my art. I haven't been doing it just in the last month or so because I've been concentrating on my garden. Because I like my garden. So I tend to do the painting during the winter. Right. So yeah, my hobbies change with the weather. So I'll tell you about my kayaking hopefully in the next couple of weeks, because hopefully there'll be some big news on that front. Well, not necessarily kayaking, me and water. Jerry says cool. Thank you very much, Jerry. I did go for a couple of months with blue everywhere and finding it on the sofa because oil paint is very messy. But yeah, and thank you, Jennifer, for saying it looks good. Right, I'm going to love you and leave you all then and let you crack on with your evenings. And I look forward to seeing you all here next week for Empower Hour at 8 o'clock. And shout it out to everyone. Take care of yourselves. Bye.